where's the customer-centric piece of this?
Well, I would sort of ask the question, why does the Finger Lakes grow Rieslings? Like, who decided that this is Riesling territory? Like, I would hope that somebody started growing Rieslings because they saw demand for Riesling.
Well, sorry. Just saying the biggest piece of, there is a demand for Riesling. For 30 years, Riesling was sort of an ignored grape. There is a demand building for Riesling right now. It just happens to be that the soil structure and the climate, et cetera, here is closest to the great Riesling regions in Germany. So that's pretty much the drive, is that there were some European guys who came over here, said this looks like Riesling country, and that's how Riesling got started, as opposed to Concord and Catawba, which were the primary grapes before.
And I guess part of the challenge here is markets change over time. So if you say, I'm still selling something nobody else wants, is that such a good idea? But I'll go one step further, and without knowing much about the Riesling business, I would bet that within the Riesling category there are different subsets. So is it sweet? Is it dry? Is it magnums? Is it Red Cat? So no. They're a winery here, and people often react like that. But they have this sweet wine that the cat sitting in a hot tub, like
Hazlitt.
Is that Hazlitt?
Hazlitt.
Yeah. Sorry.
You're correct, though. It is Red Cat Cellars.
Yeah,
It is the owner of Red Cat.
Yeah. So I look at like the wine connoisseurs, kind of like they have that reaction, like, oh, those clowns. But I bet they sell a ton of that stuff. And I would suspect that they came up with that formulation based on listening to what their customer wants were. They said, hey, listen, we can keep wine aficionado happy, but we can keep the people coming in my store happy. I think I'm going to keep the people in my store happy. Because wine aficionado comes around once every 2 years, they're coming every weekend. Right, so this gets back into, well, what do I want to make? I'm sure I would speculate that there's many a wine connoisseur and winemaker out there who's frustrated that people don't like the great wines instead of buying this Red Cat stuff with a hot tub character. Drives them nuts. This is okay. Are we in the make something great people don't want to buy, or make the thing that people want to buy business? And yeah, I'm going to be over in this camp. I'm going to sell them the cat with a hot tub, because that's what, if my customer development shows that they want that. So that's where if I was growing Riesling, I'm like, I already got all these grapes in the ground. Let me figure out what formulation sells, and be customer centric that way, instead of saying here. Actually, probably the last person I listened to is Wine Aficionado. That seems like One Voice. One Voice is not buying a bunch of my product, so why keep them happy? Yeah, the Budweiser has this approach. Like, Budweiser's like, I don't want to sell one craft beer. I want to sell six beers. So those snooty one beer guys, they can have all the hops and whatever. We're going to sell 6 of these suckers. Maybe lowbrow beer, but they sell a ton of it. They've got a stadium. Any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
I feel like, Brad, you're kind of getting to motivation, right? And that is, what is it that drives different people to get into entrepreneurship in the first place? Because maybe for some people, they don't care about selling the most of the whatever, right? They get into it because they have a passion and a commitment for something very specific. So I guess what I'm curious about is, to what extent is being very clear as an entrepreneur about your criteria in the first place kind of weigh into all this? Right,
and this actually gets to, so Judy's got a video she recorded, because I think this is the one we did in February or January, which is, why do I want to be an entrepreneur?
Right.
And so why is your motivation to be an entrepreneur? There's a woman who came who said she opened a yoga studio because she wanted to do more yoga and work less.
Right.
And she's making a fraction of the money she used to make,
right.
but she is happy.
Right.
Okay, so this is a very good point, right? If you're happy making luxury wines that aren't selling, great. Just as long as you know that's your motivation. But from a business standpoint, at least.
Right.
So yeah, you're right. Not all of entrepreneurship is just about making money. Entrepreneurship is a path to a lot of things. And if you say, this is the way I'm going to be happy and healthy, that's okay. Right, so, but I would even argue that the yoga studio operator could do some customer development.
Sure,
say,
absolutely.
What time of day, what music,
right.
How long.
Right.
Right,
so deepening the customer experience could be one way of measuring success, not just how much money am I
That's
making.
right, and I
Yeah.
think personal happiness. Like
Yeah.
if you're in this business to be happy, then be happy. And I often tell the story, so one of the things that I typically don't have to put on my resume is I used to be a professional whitewater kayaker. So a lot of fun, didn't make a damn penny, but I made some money, but I spent more than I made. Anyway,
Hobby.
yeah, yeah, professional. Yeah, it's a hobby. It was all pre-Red Bull. Nobody made a penny. Anyway, one of the guys, I've lost touch with him, but one of my friends, he started his own kayak company because he wanted to kayak more. And he lived, breathed kayaking.
Yeah.
And so he would kayak all day, and mold and make kayaks at night.
Mm-hmm.
And he slept in one or two places. He either slept in his car. Oh, that's my machine, sorry. He'd sleep in his car, or he'd sleep next to his molding machine.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, well, it's pushing off all that heat. Why should I waste it? Right? And he was happy.
Yeah.
He was doing what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
And he was interesting. He was also customer-centric. In his case, he was the customer.
Mm-hmm.
And he wanted to make a better kayak for kayakers, for passionate kayakers. So he's like, I don't want to make kayaks, or he identified a hole in the market. He said, many of the kayaks out there are made for people who aren't very good at kayaking, or they're tooling around in the lake. That's fine, but I'm an expert.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to make a kayak for an expert kayaker, and that's myself. So he himself, he's happy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're right. Motivations vary. And I tell people, if money's your main motivation, go get a job on Wall Street. It pays way better. Your odds are better. Yes, ma'am.
I have one last question, that is, has anyone studied the percent of businesses that have started that were based on the entrepreneur's need, like a problem that they were personally trying to solve, versus talking to somebody else and then solving somebody else's problem? Like, has anyone looked at that to see?
That is a really good question. So, whether it's solving somebody else's problem or solving their own problem, where the entrepreneur, founder, was their own customer.
You just described that when you talked about the gentleman who makes the kayaks.
Right. And I see a lot of it. I mean, one of the areas, one of the things I talk about, especially when I'm talking to young people, is one of the opportunities for new businesses is that we have a growing older population. That creates an older population that has a high degree of disposable income and does not want to see any cessation in their quality of life. That is a huge business opportunity. Young people can't even see it because they're like, what? I don't get it. Yeah, so, but your question is there any research to show the breakdown? That is a good question. I need to find somebody looking for a PhD topic. That would be a good research project, because I'd be interested to know that, and correlate to success as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, because I'm very careful of statistics, as you may recall from one of my earlier conversations. I do not like statistics on entrepreneurial success because I think they're confusing and wrong. So it's one of my first investors, he had a quote that he loved to say. He said, 87% of statistics are made up on the spot. Good to do it. So, yeah, so I'm very careful of entrepreneurial statistics. Lee?
Can I test my theory with a question to the room?
Oh, open mic.
Sort of. It's related to your topic, though.
Okay.
So, I have been here, one of the folks who's been here since September, and I am really passionate about what we're doing here. And there is a ton of new faces. So my question to you guys is, what brought you here? Because you are now the customers of this event, and I would love to know what it is that got you here tonight.
So that's a great segue, Lee. So I'm going to add on to what she said. So Lee is asking, if you haven't been here before, what brought you here? And I'm going to layer on a second question is, what do you want to talk about next month? We do this on the second Wednesday of each month at 6 p.m. here at the Harvest Cafe. As long as people keep coming, we'll keep doing it. Jeff Snyder will keep putting out the hors d'oeuvres. So and we can do an open mic or we can do it around the table, whatever people are comfortable with, but I would love to hear about Julie's
Because there's
month.
an exceptionally
Yeah.
high percentage of new faces tonight, and I don't know what Judy did to get you all here. And so I'm literally just very curious.
Yes, and so welcome, and we want you to come back.
Yeah.
So who feels like they're being brave and want to, why'd you come tonight, and what do you want to talk about next? Yes, ma'am.
I'm Carol. Actually, just in conversation with my friend Donna, she knows that my son has some interest young, has some interest in starting a business, and I've taken him to the Small Business Development Center over in Corning, which they really pushed the business plan. So I want to find out what your model business is, because I've been trying to help him develop his business plan. Thank you, business plan. And so she called me and said that you're going to be here tonight. And I said, I'll get in my car and I'm coming. Because I think any information that I can gain, I mean, I work in purchasing and manufacturing thing. I don't do anything to do it for myself. I make money for them, not for myself. And I don't really know much about helping my son do what he wants to do. So I'm looking for as much education as I can to help him. And I think it's just through word of mouth. I think there's a lot more people out there like me that, you know, somebody who's been here needs to invite other people, so.
Cool, thank you. Anybody else?
He's welcome to come.
Yeah, he was under the car tonight, so.
Thank you. Anybody else want to volunteer?
I'm Ashley, and I was here probably a month ago. I met Judy, and I was here for a mural conversation of a new project that they're doing here in Montour. So it sounded like something exciting, and thought we would check it out. And this is Jose, who I brought with me.
I came because Ashley talked a little bit about it. I have a little bit of an entrepreneur background with my family's business. Restaurant business, Garcia's Mexican restaurant.
Oh, yeah, we got you back.
And I just have a different idea of a restaurant similar to Garcia's, but more of a quick service, not like Chipotle or Moe's, more of a traditional, real Mexican cuisine with homemade tortillas, and just kind of like I'm going towards a different route than what we're currently doing, just because I see that there's a change for that. So it's just I'm just starting my business plan towards it. It's like that coming here will really kind of give me some better information how to get that started and go about it.
Okay, we come back and try recipes on us. And
Where? And when? And when? Yeah. Yeah, you got it. Probably everybody in this room. Ready?
But yeah, unfortunately, this year we're not opening walk-ins. We couldn't compromise with the owner, but we are looking in 2017 next year, and possibly with my idea. We'll just see how that goes.
thank you. Anybody else, any faces? Oh, we got two. Yeah.
Sorry. So I got the recommendation from Ben Stamp from Lakewood to come on down. I'm Josh, by the way. I'm a field engineer for GE. I work on large-scale turbines for power industry, steam turbines, nuclear power plants, coal plants, natural gas, whatever. But being in the field, I'm gone about 9-10 months a year, working 7 days a week, 13 hours a day. I just had a little baby girl about 3 weeks ago. And,
Congratulations.
Thank you. And money's good in what I'm doing, but I like this area. And one of the passions that I've had is making cider. And I've got a little piece of land myself, but I'm looking around, and initially my plan was to kind of try and get into the cider market as it started blowing up. But I can see a lot of people are getting into it, and one of the things that's not out there is the old heirloom varieties for apples. And right now I'm actually just clearing land today to hopefully start an orchard over the next few years. As a side business, maybe I can go back and do that full time afterwards, but there's not a whole ton of industry or need for engineers in this immediate area.
I might disagree with you. So one of the programs that we are running is called 76 West. It's a $20 million program put together by the governor. It was just announced earlier this year. It's around creating green, clean energy companies.
Yep.
So I think somebody with your skill set will be very much in demand. So I'd like to get your contact information, because you might make a whole lot more money as a clean energy engineer, and then you can enjoy the site and let somebody else make it. Yeah. Yeah. can I help you with that? Thank you.
Hi, Eric Hollenbeck. I don't live here. I'm originally from Horseheads. Family has a cottage on Seneca Lake. And I came out of curiosity and meeting and talking with Judy. I'm a filmmaker. I work on movies and TV shows, and I travel the country much like yourself, my friend, working on movies and TV productions, and all I can do is talk about the Finger Lakes and how you gotta go. Because when I'm working, we're working long hours. We're working 14, 16-hour days, playing make-believe, and we get to know each other. We're staying in hotels, and we're patronizing local businesses and bars. That's what per diem means beer money. But it always like, where are you from? Because everybody in the business is not New York and LA. We're from all over. There's a lot of filming going on in what you call third area. That's everywhere between New York and LA, because states have film tax credits that attract production either on the independent filmmaking level to the network to studio level. And so when you're talking at the Finger Lakes, you've never been. It's upstate New York. That's where I'm from. And actually, strange enough, everyone's like, yeah, I know that. When I went to Ithaca College, I'm like, oh, I should have went there for an alumni connection or something, in terms of the film side of it. But either way, I'm always talking about it. And I'm actually based out of Cleveland, Ohio. And every time I come home, I get inspired. And being at something like this, it inspires me even more, because I know there's that entrepreneurial spirit here, and people want to do things. And I think it's hard to get out of the day-to-day of whatever business you're working in, because you do have the bills, you do have kids, whatever, but it just lingers. And I still have a lot of family in the area, and my vision, I would love to be filming movies here. One of the things on top of the arts and culture and having that type of activity, which is job creation, transformation, innovation. It's training new people to do certain things. And if you look at Detroit, Michigan, when they enacted their film credit, there was a lot of out of work auto manufacturers that were skilled workers, and it's not a director and an actor and a camera. It's scripts, there's electrics, there's carpenters, you're building sets. So a lot of those people were retrained to work in the film industry, and that's happening in all these areas that have film state tax credits. There's other opportunities with people just being extras, which is a lot of fun. They worked on a movie, and sometimes they don't come back. They're like, wow, this is long hours. This isn't as glamorous, but it's. But there's a lot of an influx of economic activity. Where hotel rooms being used, your rental cars, you're patroning local businesses, you're going to the lumberyard, and there's bottled water that you need on set, and and you get this influx of money that's coming in, and there's statewide programs. So we're here because, wow, I had the right look, and we were looking for this small town, and the waterfall just, that was perfect, and our director loved it. And wow, upstate has a higher tax credit than it does in New York City, because it's 40% to come film upstate. Wow. So I'm like, I'm always coming back here. I'm at the lake, and I'm looking around. I'm like, why am I not doing this here? So that's something that I want to do is create an infrastructure. Because let's face it, Ithaca was the birth of silent films before it centralized into Hollywood. And then all these states started getting on this program because they saw Canada doing, and then they called it runaway production. They're like, well, we want to make some movies here, so we're going to offer a credit. So then Louisiana jumped on board on this, like, hey, we can get some filming going here. And then New Mexico, North Carolina, Georgia. So now there's 38 states with film tax credits ranging from 5% to 40%, and that's either a tax credit or a cash rebate. So on top of creating this infrastructure and maybe a mini studio and rolling cameras on the streets in the region, I'm also starting a film festival that's going to be in Watkins Glen. I want to really come in to the area with arts and culture because, from just the festival or other things going on in the region, it's going to